Here we are. It's your favorite time of every Thursday night. And I'm here with Matt Donnelly, my favorite Canadian in the world. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing good, eh?
Yeah, it's a boot time, and we're gonna jump right into this. And just let's get it out there so Ben doesn't kill me. Sign up for Underdog when you use the code Fantasy PTS. You get a $100 bonus cash for your first deposit. So make sure you do that. All right. So what we're gonna do, it's really scientific here. We're gonna click a button at the same time, and we're gonna pray that we get into the same contest. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're gonna do one of the puppies again, like we did last week when I was on with Joe. So you ready for this, Matt?
Yeah, you want to counter down here?
I will. Let's count down from 5. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Click. Okay, we got in the same one. Filled, waiting for 7 people, right?
All right, that's good. That makes me feel better.
Yeah, good deal. That's what I wanted to hear. So I'm sharing my screen so you'll be able to see what's going on here. But man, we're getting so close. I'm itching for some. I mean, we were just talking about the expo. By the way, if you're anywhere close to Canton, Ohio, there is no reason that you should not be joining Matt and myself and Ben and Graham and I. I'm sure we'll talk a couple other people into joining us, but we're going to be at Canton, Ohio for the Fantasy Football Expo. Get your tickets now. Get your hotel set up. We're sponsoring the pre-party the day before. Actually, I think it's the night after the college football part of the expo. We'll be doing. We're sponsoring the party. We're gonna definitely. Be getting a little tipsy and having some fun, and then we'll wake up the next day. I believe it's on Sunday, right? When the NFL side starts, right, Matt?
It's kind of all over the place there. I believe the Kings Classic is on the Saturday night there. The party, the Fantasy Points party is going to be on the Friday night there. Okay. I mean, there's something for everyone there. We had Bob Long on our show. I mean, if you're into flag football, we got that. If you're into poker, there's that going on too. There's a big cornhole tournament taking place. So a little bit of everything out there. And you know what? I'm going to try my darndest not to play in the flag football game, because if I play in that game, I am done for the rest of the weekend. Let's be honest about that. I got a good solid maybe 15 minutes in me, and then I am tapping out, and I'm going to feel it the rest of the way. And that is not a pleasant flight home. I'll tell you what right now.
I'm gonna tell you, if I played in the flag football game, I'm too competitive. Somebody's gonna get hit accidentally. I have a hard time losing, so it's gonna be nasty. All right, our draft is gonna start in 30 seconds. So I have the whole schedule there mixed up. But yeah, you want to go to the college football part of it, because you're gonna see a lot of my buddies, because I'm a big college football guy, and a lot of my guys that I've been hanging with on trying to get this product out for the longest time. And by the way, we released our college football product. Make sure you get in on that. But yeah, you want to be there for the college football part. You want to be there for, where are we drafted here? So I'm 6, which I love. Where are you at?
I'm at 11. See, I prefer the 6 spot there, because then you can kind of react at 1, 2, at 11, 12. You're reaching for guys one way or the other, because if you get stuck at the back end of a run, you are in trouble. And I do not like that,
because at least, especially in the first round, somebody always drops that shouldn't, and I get him at 6. And who I'm counting on here is Eckler, but he's probably going to go right here. But I'd love to get him at 6, because remember, this is half PPR. We're not doing full PPR here, but still, I don't even care. I love Eckler. I like Eckler better than I do CMC. But the reason I bring that up is, I want to avoid a wide receiver in the first round if I can. I got one pick to go. So anyway, yeah, you want to be. And I get him. Yeah, baby. So you want to be there for the college football part. You get to meet a lot of great people. Trust me, a lot of friendly, outgoing people. And then obviously you want to be there for the NFL, big time. Everybody's there, man. It's so much fun. Just talking to a bunch of really cool dudes.
Well, and last year I said, hey, we've just launched here over at Fantasy Points. You guys got that CFB thing going on there. We've also got the College to Canton crew that was also at the expo last year. So there's plenty of College Canton representation there, fantasy points representation going down in Canton, or they have it in the past. So I don't know if the guys are going again this year, but I mean, I like their opportunity here.
I can't imagine they won't. I have to think they will. I think a lot of them live close by.
So I'm actually really happy with how this worked out because I really like Joe Mixon this year. At 6, Austin Eckler is the guy I'm targeting in every draft, redraft. It doesn't matter. He's the guy. Number 2 in PPR last season, 20 touchdowns, equal to Jonathan Taylor. But Joe Mixon, and in this offense, this is a pretty good offense here for the Cincinnati Bengals with an upgraded offensive line. So I really like what they're doing there this year. And you know what? I'm going to take the John Hanson special here, and I'm going to oh, man, you know what? I'm running out of time. You know what? Let's go DeAndre Swift here.
Okay. No, he was number two on my queue. Don't feel bad about that.
See, that's the hardest part when you're doing these drafts and you're live streaming at the same time. You're talking, and there's a draft going on, and you actually forget where you're at. And I was like, oh, man, I don't have time to look at who I'm going for. So you're shooting blind here.
No. The worst drafts I've ever had were during live streams where, I'm just talking so much that I lose track, and you only have 30 seconds. So definitely, I'm interested to see where Kamara goes. I don't mind if he slips, I'll take him, man. I'm telling you, don't let him slip too far. I don't mind losing 2 games of Kamara and get him for 15. I'll take it. You know what I mean? Even if it's 3, I'll take it. Because he's going to get you beast numbers when he is on the field. So I'm not scared to take him in the 3rd round.
3rd round's a good spot for him there. I mean, if you're getting him, you're probably not grabbing him at the back end of the 1st, start of the 2nd. I think that's too rich for anybody right now, especially with everything that's kind of going on. We're assuming 2 games. It could be less, could be more. We don't know what's going on with that whole situation there. But I mean, if you're getting him in the 3rd round as your RB2, perhaps you've already got yourself a good, solid hero running back already kicking off. You got yourself a good wide receiver, maybe a tight end if you're into that kind of stuff. But you're going to be feeling pretty comfortable with yourself if you have Kamara as your RB2. I wouldn't recommend him as my RB1. That would kind of scare me unless I've got 2 high-end wide receivers already in place.
I agree. Well, I am into that tight end thing, so that's why I took Mark Andrews in the 2nd round. Take me some Mandrews.
You can't go wrong with that. I mean, he literally had, I think, something like 35 more fantasy points in PPR scoring than the next closest tight end, which was Travis Kelce last year. So if you can get that positional advantage, such as Mark Andrews, you're feeling pretty good about yourself in that whole thing. And I think that's where that value-based drafting really comes into play.
Absolutely. And, and even in a half PPR, he's got such high scoring potential that it's just impossible for me to pass him up there with my 2nd pick, which was 19th overall. So I'm on that all day.
Oh, there he goes. John Hanson. I was really was thinking about taking that Javonte Williams. He went 212. I was like, oh, maybe, just maybe he could have slid back down.
Yeah. Mr. Hanson definitely likes him some Andrews as well. But, I was looking over some of the guys he doesn't like, and I'm like, oh, those are guys I do like. You know what I mean? So, and that's the greatest part of fantasy is, you're just going to have so many conflicting opinions. And especially when you're on the same team, you can, say, okay, well, we'll see what happens, at the end of the year, and then we can bring this back up. Let's stick a pin in it. And I love doing that. So guys like Tyreek Hill and possibly the guy I take here, those are guys I love. I think Tyreek's going to have a big year. Okay, so I don't have a wide receiver 1. I have zero hesitation to take the wide receiver 1 on the team that plays with the guy I have as my QB2, and that's Keenan Allen. I think he's a PPR beast. Yes. Is he going to score a ton of touchdowns? No, but he's the featured guy on one of the most explosive offenses in the game. And if he does have a year where he scores a little bit more, then I'm going to be looking really good right there.
So like a fool, I wasn't really paying attention to the setup here. It's basically a quarterback, 2 running backs, wide receiver, and tight end. Is that how we're going?
Sir. That's
here. I'm tempted right now. I'm sitting here. I'm looking at Nick Chubb. He was sitting there for the longest time. I'm like, please don't be back, because the temptation is going to be there. But now I'm looking at this. I've got that running back kind of settled there with Mixon and DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the guy in front of me is about to do here, but time's up. Let's see. where he's going with this one. James Conner, which makes me feel good about this. So I'm sitting here and I have options, and I'm thinking probably going to go with a guy I feel really good about this year, who has another one of those criminally underrated guys as far as pass catching goes. He's seen 146 targets last year with Lamar Jackson. He gets to go back with his college teammate here in Arizona, Marquis Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, is he? There's so many underrated wide receivers out there. Marquis Brown is one. Brandon Cooks is another guy that's always criminally underrated. Keenan Allen, who you took there at the top of the third, another guy that we always kind of don't quite give him the love that he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like I'm back up here. I've got the running back situation kind of under control. I feel good about, obviously I missed out on the tight ends here. So I'm looking around. I could go quarterback here and get that settled. I don't trust Pittsburgh here. I don't trust Denver. I really don't trust any of these wide receivers that are on the board here. So if I can 6-5, it's not showing me my tight ends.
2, 1.
Did I get it in? I got it.
Okay.
It's not who I was going for. I got a quarterback here. I took Patrick Mahomes. Not where I'm going. But again, I was trying to flip back and forth between the tight end and wide receiver. It wouldn't give me my tight end look. So I was like,
yeah.
All right, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Let's go to the quarterback. It's a good, safe play at this point.
Yeah, no, that's a good pick. You can never go wrong with Mr. Mahomes, that's for sure. And you'll probably start a little. I don't know, you didn't. I figured there would be a little QB run on the elite guys, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Doesn't matter. I've got 2 guys at the top of my queue, and I get one of them. So let's see what I'm going to get.
Yeah, typically at the quarterback position, I'm probably not drafting, even in best ball, until round 6. A guy like Joe Burrow, kind of in the round 6 kind of possibility there. If not, a little bit later. I'm feeling pretty good about quarterback later. That was kind of a panic pickup there. And if you're going to panic, you might as well panic with Patrick Mahomes, even though the weapons aren't there. Tyreek's not there anymore, but Travis Kelce is. And I do feel good about another guy who's a best ball specialist in Mecole Hardman, maybe a little bit later.
Okay, everyone, there's supporters for every player in the game. I'm not personally a Mecole guy. I think this is his last year in Kansas City, but I do like some of the weapons that Kansas City has. I like me some Sky Moore. I know these guys have drafted. It's a little against the unwritten rules of drafting, but we're trying to host a live stream here. And I do like me some Sky Moore, and I also like me some MVS. So I think those are going to be 3 prime targets for Mahomes. And then he's got a Ben's guy. How can I not bring him up, Isaiah Pacheco? So he could get in there and get some meaningful snaps this year. And there went my guy. That was the second guy I was looking at right there. Of course, if you know me, I've got a big man crush on Gabriel Davis. And he just went off the board at 46. He was right there with me. I was going back and forth between Deontay and Gabriel, and I ended up. If you want to talk about some touchdown potential, go look at Gabriel Davis's touchdown rate. It's higher than anybody else in the game. Dude is a beast. I'm talking where I have him ranked. You might think I have him high. I have him low. I moved him down because the team was like, okay, let's drop it down just a little bit, just in case. And I'm like, guys, I'm telling you, we're out ahead of this one. Dude is about to just be a top 15 wide receiver, no question this season, no question. But I don't feel bad because I took Deontay. So here's the problem in Pittsburgh is they've got Kenny Pickett. I love the kid. He's got some good accuracy. It reminds me of a Mac Jones, a little bit stronger arm. Right. And a little bit not as good accuracy, obviously not as good of an offensive line, but definitely somebody I like there with Deontay because he's not going to be able to get the ball deep. All right, let's see. I'm up on the clock here. Don't draft Juju Smith-Schuster. Okay, Matt, don't do it.
You know what they really need to do? They need to put a thing where you could actually scratch a guy completely off of your list. Get him completely off your chart altogether. So you can't even possibly auto pick him.
Yeah, no, do not draft Juju. He's going up several rounds early right now based on the ADP and underdog. Do not draft Juju. If you can get him in the 9th or 10th round, sure. But he's going to be the 4th receiving option on his team. Don't draft him, okay? He's going 56.5. It's criminal. It's criminal. Somebody's going to draft him. Watch.
This is killing me right now because I'm sitting here one pick away, and both Josh Jacobs and Antonio Gibson are staring right at me. And I'm like, I want to grab another running back. And now Amari Cooper, the only wide receiver I had queued up, he's now off the board. So now I'm looking at trying to decide whether I want to go with either, let's see here, Monroe St. Brown or Devontae Smith as my wide receiver too. And I can't talk about it too much because I would end up missing both of them here. I know you're going. I think Elijah Moore is probably the safer bet, but you know what? I'm going to go with the Monroe because I just really like him. We got PPR.
Outstanding pick.
I think with DJ Chark opening things up deep because we know DJ Chark can stretch defenses. I know you got TJ Hawkinson.
He doesn't need it. You just draft him on Ross St. Brown if he's the only option on the team. That's how good he is.
And now I'm probably going to end up double dipping at the tight end at the Detroit Lions here. That's where we are. That's how good Detroit has been. I'm up here right now, and I'm looking at Dalton Schultz. Give the guy a little bit of respect. He put the work in last year. Good things happen for him. Dawson Knox, Buffalo Bills, another one of those guys. I think Gabriel Davis is going to take away some of those touchdowns when it comes to him and what he was able to do last year. So you know what? Let's roar with the Lions here. Let's go TJ Hawkinson and Amon-Ra St. Brown on the same squad.
I like that pick. And I'm going to tell you this right now. When you're drafting an underdog, I think the biggest mistake you can make is looking at the ADP number that they throw at you and thinking in your mind, oh, I've got to stick to something that's going to fit to some conformity. No. Because I'm going to tell you, if you draft based off of the ADP and you're trying to get that projected number as high as you can, I promise you there are going to be so many teams out there with that same exact lineup. You've got to switch it up. It's like DFS. You've got to switch it up. You got to have differentiation inside your lineup. All right, I'm on the clock here. I took David Montgomery with my last pick, so I'm feeling pretty good about my running backs. I got some good wide receivers, but I do want to be stronger at wide receivers. So, there's a guy here that I really like. And that a lot of people maybe they're struggling with, and it's a reach. But I'm telling you, you want to have a lineup that has a lot of variations, and that's a guy I really like there, Michael Thomas, because when Jameis Winston was installed as the starter, what were we all waiting for? We were waiting to see how is this going to happen now that he's Mike Thomas, he's got a really good quarterback, and we saw what he did at Tampa Bay, what famous Jameis did with the Buccaneers. I mean, this guy can put up some passing stats. Now that they have Chris Olave in there, well, and then they bring in Jarvis Landry, and he's just beasting. I mean, this is a exciting team here, and I don't care about Kamara. Like I said, I don't care about 3 games. 3 games is nothing. I care about the playoffs. I care about what happens towards the end of the year. I really like Michael Thomas. No way he sits out another year. No way. Calling it right now.
And you've already seen it right now, because the one thing that Michael Thomas, he put it on social media there. He's already doing sprints. He's going down the sideline. He's going deep. He's doing like a 40-yard dash, which is kind of weird because usually he only goes 2 yards forward and then like 14 across in the other direction. So it's not quite, we're not seeing those cuts. We're not seeing where that ankle is quite yet, but it's a positive sign that we're going to see Michael Thomas sooner rather than later. Then again, we've already been down this road once or twice before too. So definitely something to keep an eye on here. So I see we're going in the 7th round here. When we're building ours here, so I've got 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, a tight end, a quarterback, pretty balanced right off the get-go. I'm thinking here we're at that point where I'm looking like running back is probably where the value is going to be right now. And I'm looking at my list here right now. A.J. Dillon is a guy I'm targeting here, a guy who has the potential to run for 1,000 yards, same as Aaron Jones. I think you could literally start both these guys week in, week out and have a lot of success. Another running back I really like here is Damian Harris. Another guy who gets disrespected all the time. He's going to still get those goal line touches. 15 touchdowns last year. That's not going to change. No matter how much you want to believe in Ramondre Stevenson, it's going to be Damian Harris's backfield, especially from the 5-yard line and in. But I've got to punch in A.J. Dillon here. Maybe it's a little bit early, maybe not. But hey, I love myself the value.
No, it's a good pick. I really don't think Damian. So Damian Harris played high school ball not too far from here, and my wife actually she knows she knows his mom. So it's definitely don't have any hate for Damian Harris here. He's a hometown kid, but yeah, I will say the only hate that I'm seeing is from the Patriots. I don't think they're respecting him enough because they went out and they drafted 2 running backs. I really don't think they're going to re-sign him after this year. I think he's going to walk, but he's going to walk and he's going to go to another situation where he's going to start. So no worries there. And I think until he leaves, I think they're going to play him as their starter. But I really like Ramondre, though. Just throwing that out there.
I just went maybe a little bit off the grid here with Kadarius Toney. I really like the New York Giants offense in 2022. I think they got one of the best, if not the best, strengths of schedule here. And I don't think I'm stepping out of line when I'm saying here, I'm sorry, Eagles fans. Sorry, Ben. I know you're watching this kind of thing here. Joe, I much respect. I would not be shocked if Kadarius Toney ended up with more fantasy points per game than A.J. Brown does in 2022.
I would bet a large amount of money against that, but I like it. I released a podcast this Monday. I did it with Jake Tribby this week. I won't be doing it with him anymore. I'm gonna try to do. I had a discussion with the higher powers, and I'm gonna be doing it on my own this year from now on. But okay, here's a guy I really love this year. I've already taken 4 wide receivers, but I don't care. I'm taking me some Russell Gage. Love me some Russell Gage, man. I think he's going to have a beast year. I think this is his time to shine. But just to throw it out there, I was when I did the thing with Tribby this past Monday. I hope you listened to it. He was talking about his love for Kadarius Toney, but don't knock my guy AJB. I'm telling you, he's gonna ball out this year. AJ Brown is a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL.
I think that's gonna. I think there's the mouth situation there with Devontae Smith there. I mean, Kenneth Gainwell is going to get a few targets there in the passing game. Miles Sanders should. I mean, I don't know why the Eagles hate Miles Sanders so much. Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things that just baffles my mind. He's been efficient. It's not because he can't get the job done. He's been able to get the job done. So for me, I'm a little weary of that. And I just look at this New York offense. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big believer in Kenny Golladay. I'm sorry. If he can stay healthy for a season, maybe I'll start to buy in a little bit. I don't see it. We're already talking about a guy with like multiple hip injuries. These are things that just don't go away. I mean, you can have surgery on him. You can have all this work done on him. It's not going to make a difference. It's going to be there. The scar tissue in that hip socket, I'm no doctor. That's up for Edwin, but it's not going to get any better. It really is not. Then you look at Sterling Shepard. Soft tissue after soft tissue. Kadarius Toney, he's had his injuries too already early. I just like his opportunity. And opportunity is everything, especially in a best ball type thing. And we know what Toney can do once that ball is in his hands.
No question. You look at what he did in that Dallas game. I mean, we saw some nastiness. I mean, there are few games, few results like what we saw with Kadarius Toney against Dallas in that game that we'll see in an entire season. That's how good it was. I mean, it was a jaw opener and an eye opener, all mixed into one. All right, so I've only got 2 running backs here, but you know what? I'm going to switch it up because I've been drafting just based off of a real strict. I got to get my running backs type of thing here. And, I've got 5 wide receivers. Guess what? I don't care because I'm going to go with some MVS. I love me some Marquez. I think he's got 4.3 speed. He's got the size. He's got the potential to be the number 2 receiver for Patrick Mahomes. I think it's between him or Sky Moore. It's probably going to be Sky Moore, but I don't care. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers was unable to do it, but I think at MVS, if he stays with Green Bay this year, I think he would have been the number 1 receiver. So I'm not 100% sure this was the right move for him because he went from the best quarterback in the NFL, right now, not, down the road. Obviously, Patrick is going to be taking over the mantle. But I think it was maybe a better down the road type move. But I think he could have blown up this year for Green Bay if he would have stuck around.
Yeah, I'm not too big on Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Never been a big guy when it comes to him. He seems to be more of a speed guy, not doing a whole heck of a lot. We're sitting here and we're in, I think it's the 9th round, and Rashawn Penny is still on the board. And I know everyone wants to get in on Kenneth Walker. He is the new thing. He's the new shiny toy in Seattle. But guess what? Efficiency matters. Production matters. And Penny produced and was efficient down the back end. He was actually more, I think he was like 10. I think I was looking at Graham Barfield's stat pack there when it came to Seattle. And I think he had like something, Rashawn Penny was 10% more efficient than even Jonathan Taylor was down the stretch. So I feel pretty good about that. And then I'm going to back this up because another guy, one of my guys, again, I don't care. This is best ball. I'm probably reaching here, but give me a little bit of Jacoby Myers because he's my guy. He's one of those guys I have to have in all my rosters. And I am betting that he gets more than 2 touchdowns this year. I mean, that's what hurt him last year as far as statistics are concerned. He was still a top 40 wide receiver in PPR scoring, despite only having 2 touchdowns. I don't see that changing. Devontae Parker is who he is. He still hasn't had like a 1,000-yard season in the National Football League. I'm not worried about Parker. I like Myers here, especially when you look at the fact that we're in the 10th round already. James Cook was the other guy I was thinking about. I was like, you know what? I've already got 4 running backs. I better just pump the brakes here a little bit.
Yeah, I was actually hoping Cook would slip to me there, so that hurt a little bit. But you can't get too caught up on one player. So moving on, I'll find other ways to get my running back points, and I'm on the clock, and I'm looking here, and yeah, I don't want to go there yet. I'm not seeing a running back that's really sticking out just yet, so I'm going to look elsewhere. One guy that's kind of sticking in my face here, and I think I'm going to go, is some Pat Freiermuth. I got Freiermuth. I got Deontay. So I got me a mini stack there. We'll see if I can expand on that later, because there's a really good chance I hold out on my quarterbacks here. Take a page out of the guy that won it all last year. Wait on your quarterbacks to the very end, and you'll be picking them all by yourself.
That was my strategy until I got myself into a panic pick earlier. Yeah. Let's be honest. There's no way I was taking a quarterback. He just happened to be like on the list right in front of me. I was like, click. So I didn't know what I was going to get if I didn't make that pick. So I mean, if this wasn't right now, I'm getting like totally mesmerized by the screen in front of me and then my screen on the side, because I'm like, ooh, pretty colors everywhere. I mean, it's time to focus, time to settle down. I'm looking at your queue list, thinking it's my queue list. And then I go to my list. I'm like, oh, crap, that guy's not on there. So
you can see my queue. I forgot about that. I forgot I was sharing.
Luckily, I haven't really gone off of your queue list there. I was like, oh, okay.
No. It's okay. It's okay. We're picking far enough apart. I don't think it really matters. But no, it was a good move, because I would much rather have Mahomes than like Juju Smith-Schuster. So you made the right choice there. That was not a bad pick for a last second click. That's for sure. But yeah, I completely forgot I was sharing my screen. Just throwing that out there.
So I think we've reached that point in the best ball right now where people are going for those rookies, trying to get those projected points, those high rolling points. We just watched Christian Watson come off board, Jameson Williams, Rashawn White. I love myself some Rashawn White there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if Leonard Fournette is as fat as he thinks he is right now, Fat Lenny's coming to town. I mean, Rashawn White, he's already replaced Gio Bernard. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster, he runs better patterns. You're looking for that pass catching back. It's already going to be Rashawn White. I think training camp is just a formality when it comes to Bernard getting kind of pushed down the depth chart. I mean, I think Fournette's going to lose some of those looks in the passing game this year. I mean, he's been efficient. We know what he's done. He's got a history there in Jacksonville where he can catch the ball a little bit. But, I mean, we're looking at Rashawn White here, and I think he is the future of the Buccaneers.
Yeah, definitely. I think he is as well. I think we're getting into a stage of the NFL where we're going to see a lot less situations where we have true bell cows. So, where there's always going to be a guy that the Buccaneers are going to pair with Rashad, but I think he's going to be a big part of that future. Okay, exactly what I was talking about. So if you heard the rumor, it was the talk about if a head coach or offensive coordinator or anybody that's a decision maker within a franchise, when they say go out and draft this guy, you do it in fantasy. And I think what happened with Nyheim Hines last year was unfortunate. I think he's going to have a big year this year. And there went the rest of my queue with Tim Patrick. I like Patrick.
You need to get some more people on that queue here so I can kind of cherry pick that a little bit because
I'm
looking here.
Now that I'm on to you. No.
I'm on the clock here right away. I'm like, I don't have anyone in my queue yet. I'm too busy looking for what's going on the screen again. I mean, I'm looking here. Do I go rookie here? Is this a time to go for rookies? Do I back up, put my money where my mouth is and go with Hardman here? I've already got 4 wide receivers. He could be a solid wide receiver 5.
Talked him up.
Hey, talk is cheap. You got to back it up. Let's put him in here in the 11, and let's call it the 12th round. 11 it's about as close to 12th as possible. So I feel okay about that. That gives me a wide receiver 5, that best ball, that deep ball threat there. He could easily go off any day of the week. We saw him have some pretty big weeks there last year. They were far and few between, but they were there.
Absolutely. No, it's a good pick. You always want to stack. And one of the hardest stacks is when you draft a quarterback first. It's difficult because sometimes you'll end up with some stacks that you normally wouldn't draft. I'll be right back. I gotta get a refill.
You go get ahead that refill. I'm going to try and look at what I could possibly do at this point because I am stuck here with about 15 seconds left trying to figure out what I want to do. And I don't know. I'm really struggling here on trying to find a guy. I see him down to about 5 seconds. I'm going to go with Ronald Jones here just because we know that the running back position is a war of attrition. We watched running back roulette go down all season long. And we know that Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's going to miss time. Whether he had that gallbladder there last offseason where he dropped to about 160 pounds, that seemed to really affect him once the season started. But here's the kicker. When the season did get going, he had a couple good weeks before getting hurt, and then he missed a lot again. If that is to happen, Ronald Jones, we know he can run the ball when given an opportunity. He just can't catch with a lick. So for me, Ronald Jones kind of slides in nicely there. I know they went off there and they got themselves another quality running back via free agency there. But, I mean, give me some Ronald Jones here. We're late enough where I feel comfortable with that pick. Now I feel that I don't need to go back to the running back position anymore. Darrell Henderson was a guy I was thinking about there. Tyler Algier is another guy I was thinking about. But now I know I'm set 5 running backs. I don't have to go there. And honestly, at this point in the draft, you look at the wide receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, wherever you want to look across the board, it is dart throwing time and seeing if you can get that winning lotto ticket.
No question. I think drop the gloves and I went to Devontae Parker. I think my clock ran out, but that's the benefit of setting a queue, right? Because my wide receivers are stacked, man. Let's see, I've got 7, that's how I'm rolling here.
So before I selected Ronald Jones, I was really debating Corey Davis with that selection.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because Corey Davis is this or Corey Davis is that. At the end of the day, you've got Garrett Wilson and you got Elijah Moore there. They play a very similar type role in that offense. When they go to a 2 wide receiver set, it's not going to be, in my opinion, Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore out there. They're still going to put Corey Davis out there on the boundary as that big target, especially when they get to the red zone. I think that's where Corey Davis is going to find his value. It's not going to be a PPR thing. It's not going to be a big yardage thing. He's going to be one of those touchdown guys, kind of like a Darrell Williams, if you want to go from a blast from the past. Not a big-time wide receiver. You're not going to want to put him in very many of your lineups, but Corey Davis is going to be a guy that you think is going to give you some production every once in a while. And then in best ball, that's kind of what you want. You're looking for a couple big weeks here and there. I mean, if you can get it every single week, that'd be fantastic, but that's just not the case.
Yeah, I mean, it's I really want to see that New York offense do well this year, and it's all gonna come down. The offensive line, they haven't. I wouldn't say that they've addressed all of the issues just yet, but I really want to see Zach Wilson. I'm rooting for him. I'm definitely rooting for him. I'll never support Scott Barrett's comp to Patrick Mahomes. I'll never do it, but I am rooting for him to have a decent year this year. So I really, really hope he pulls it out because he's got my guy Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore, two guys that I just love. Okay, so I didn't have him in my queue. I did it for a reason because I want him really bad here. That's Darrell Williams given to me because James Conner, man, he's got the health track record of just I don't know who the guy can't stay healthy. I was surprised he did it last year. He actually was healthy most of the year, and then towards the end, but man, what a touchdown machine James Conner is.
It is. I mean, look at the numbers. I think he had 18 touchdowns last year.
Good
I think it was
Lord, after the year before. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think he was third in the league. I think Eckler, I think Jonathan Taylor, they had 20 each. And then I think it was James Conner that was next with 18, followed by, I think it was Cooper Kupp and Joe Mixon, I think had 16 apiece. So if you're looking for touchdowns, hey, and to steal a phrase from Hansen there, everyone loves them tutties, right? It's those tutties. Yeah. It's all about them tutties. And for me, I want to go Corey Davis. I still want to go Corey Davis here. And
you're gonna put your money where your mouth is.
You know what? I'm bad for that, and I'm going to back it up. But at one point here, right before that selection was made, I'm trying to look at the board here, and Cole Komet was the next guy. Yeah, Cole Komet. I was thinking, you know what? This is a good time to grab that second tight end because Komet, he's another one that just needs those touchdowns. He didn't get those tutties last year, right? That was his biggest thing. He's going off the board as tight end 18, and he's a guy I think right now is going to finish top 10 in fantasy amongst the tight end position here when the dust settles at the end of week 17 or week 18 if you're in those crazy type leagues.
Yeah. I think the Bears are going to be a lot better than people. I say it over and over. People are probably sick of hearing me talk about it. I think the Bears are going to be a better team than people realize. And maybe not in the win column, but I think that offense is going to score more points than a lot of people think. I think there's a lot of potential there, and especially they've got Matt Eberflus there, who's a defensive wizard. If you don't know, so you don't know what this guy's going to pull off with that defense, and if everything comes together, I mean, we could see them win 6 or 7 games, and that would be just a massive, massive victory for that team because their offense, I mean, it needs some love. It really does. But, Eberflus, he knew going into the 22 draft, he knew that he was going to have to wait another year because they just didn't have the draft capital to go out and get the players that made a big difference. So he just made the decision to kind of ease in. So I'm going to look at quarterback here, see what's going on. Because my guy already went. I wanted me some Jameis, but didn't happen. All right, that's okay. So yeah, I think I'm going to go some Tyrion Davis Price here. I think if it would break my heart if it happened, but if Elijah Mitchell were to get hurt, and we know the situation there in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan, and he's going to feature his running backs, and he doesn't care who gets hurt. He does care, but what I mean is he's going to make it a next guy up situation. He's going to insert him as the bell cow. So I really like Tyrion Davis Price. I know Greg Cosell, he agrees with me. It's he's a baller, man. He's a big dude as well. He's a big kid, big 20-year-old, 22-year-old. So I didn't get to write him up this year, but man, I liked what I saw from the tape that I did see when, I was watching LSU organically. And so I think he's good. He's a really good fit. I also think Trey Sherman is in a good spot still. I'm not sticking a fork in him yet. I think he's in a good spot. I think, he's still young. He's still got the talent. If you look back at what happened on his very first carry, it was probably the nastiest concussion of the 21 season. I'm shocked that the safety that hit him didn't get suspended. It was disgusting. And, it was straight crown of the helmet to the front of his forehead. It was awful. It was so bad. Knocked him into the next week. It was, probably one of the most brutal first carries I've ever seen in NFL for a player in his rookie season in NFL history. It was awful.
It was like the second worst helmet to anything contact I've ever seen behind Gus Frerotte and the wall. I mean, Gus Frerotte running into the wall where he like threw his neck out and everything. That was probably the worst I ever see. Just because of the pure stupidity of the situation there.
Yeah.
We're coming into an interesting spot here because Wes, I'm looking at the quarterbacks on the board. I know you still need a quarterback, and I know you're not going to Deshaun Watson. So things get pretty ugly pretty quick. Zach Wilson, Ryan Tannehill, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz in Washington. I have to imagine you got to go quarterback here.
Well,
but, I don't want to put it.
We go 18 rounds, and so I've got this one and then 3 more. Guess what? I'm not going quarterback. And I'm taking a page out of the guy who won it all last year, and I'm going Deontay Foreman. Love me some Deontay. And why? Because nobody's going to be wanting a quarterback here. Nobody is going to want a quarterback from 16, 17, and 18. Okay, you do. All right. We'll compete for him. That's fine.
The thing is,
nobody's going to
want a quarterback. The only reason I want a quarterback is I know you need one. That's really the only thing is. So I'm watching, basically, there's a little ticker here. I see you're a terrier type dog. That's your inner animal, is a terrier. Well, I'm a big German Shepherd. That's what I got going there for my underdog. And I'm looking at you 2168. I'm looking at my 2142 projected points. And I know you don't have
That's without a quarterback, by the way.
Yeah, I know it's without a quarterback. That's why I'm going to go grab myself a quarterback here. Maybe a Ryan Tannehill and really force that hand a little bit later on.
Watch my number go up when I draft a quarterback, though.
Well, that's the thing. I want to keep your number lower than mine. So I might even go 2 quarterbacks here just out of spite. And
do it, because there's plenty. It'll just be you and me drafting quarterbacks here, and there's plenty here for us to pick. So I'm not really concerned. I wouldn't say plenty, but there's guys that are going to be starting plenty.
Oh crap! I'm going to have to literally pick a quarterback here. I wasn't even thinking about that. I got too busy trash talking, and now I've lost whoever I was going to go with. So it's going to pick someone for me. Davis Mills. All right,
there you go.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's not.
I like Davis Mills. He's got that good rapport built there with Brandon Cooks. I mean, John Mechie's going to come back at some point from that ACL. It's probably going to take what do you figure for John Mechie? Probably 6 weeks before he kind of gets back. Maybe 8 weeks.
I mean, he'll be back this year, but I'm not counting on him doing anything significant this season. But I'm not a doctor, but at the same time, he doesn't need Davis Mills doesn't need Mechie to come back. He doesn't. He showed us last year that he could do well with a hodgepodge collection patchwork of free agents. So yeah, I mean, Brandon Cooks plus a bunch of nobodies and Davis Mills can do it. So yeah, I'm not worried about it.
And I just broke my golden rule here, going with Sammy Watkins in a best ball. I got at least one good week of production here in week 1 that I'm going to absolutely go off in best ball. That said, I mean, we look at this Green Bay Packers offense right now. Allen Lazard, is he the number 1? I don't know. He's projected to be the number 1. And then Christian Watson, is he really going to be that guy? Romeo Dukes is another guy I really like. I mean, I think he may be the best option in Green Bay when it's all said and done. But Sammy Watkins, I mean, I'm listening to the training camp buzz, and I'm kind of getting caught up into it. That's why I'm waiting for Scott Baird to kind of give me his whole coaches speak article that you get on fantasypoints.com there, because every year he kind of breaks down all the lingo that's being used and kind of deciphers everything for those fantasy managers out there. I'd be interested to see what the talk on the street is about Sammy Watkins, because right now in voluntary mini camps, it's been pretty positive so far.
Yeah. All right, so I took your guy, so no stacking your Amon-Ra St. Brown. That boat has sailed. I really what's that?
That's too bad, because I was really thinking about him again, grabbing a third quarterback just for fun.
Yeah. No, I like some Jared Goff this year. I'm definitely sold on that Lions offense. Now the defense, they've got some players. I like their defense. I just don't think they're a 7-win team. I think they're going to finish bottom 7, and I think they're gonna go after one of the top quarterbacks.
So you said we're in 18 rounds here in this best ball, basically this little puppy here, so to speak. I don't know where you're coming. Are you coming up here again right away? Or can I talk freely again? I think you
No,
got
talk
to pick
freely. I'm coming up in 4 picks.
All right, so I got to wait a little bit there because I don't want to give away some strategy here. But I'm looking at some of these names here, especially at the running back position. I just watched one of my favorite players. I think he just went off the board. At least he's off my queue now. That's Robinson, Brian Robinson out of Washington. Yeah. Because I really believe, like, when coaches talk, you kind of put a little bit of grain of salt behind it and you take it as what it is. But I really do believe that Ron Rivera wants to employ a 2 running back system there in Washington, not because he doesn't believe in Antonio Gibson, but because he wants to keep Gibson a little bit more fresh. I mean, and Robinson, he's that guy. He's been biding his time in Alabama behind Najee Harris, Damian Harris. I mean, I think Josh Jacobs was there his first year as well. So he's been sitting back behind some good backs. And when he gets an opportunity to do something, he's going to do it. He gives Washington a completely different dynamic in that offense. When they want to go smash mouth, he can do that. He can break tackles. He's a machine in that. So I really like what Brian Robinson brings. And I think he's a guy at this point here, we're drafting whatever round we're in now, that's some good value in the 17th round. You're looking for these guys that are going to give you possible production. You're looking for that free bingo space at the quarterback spot or at the running back spot right now in bingo, right? That's what you're looking for. You're looking for that free play. And for me, there's 2 guys that I kind of consider free play type players. One is Sony Michel out of Miami, because we don't know how that situation in Miami is going to shape out, right? We just don't know how. Is it going to be Raheem Mostert? Is he going to sneeze? And throw his back out and miss the entire season? Possibly. Is it going to be Chase Edmonds, who's getting paid as a running back 1? And we don't know where that production is going to come from. Or is it going to come from a 2-time Super Bowl champion that got traded from New England to Los Angeles, put up almost 1,000 yards, and maybe, you know what, that's a possibility. So, I mean, we're looking at this Miami backfield. Anyone who tells you they know how it's going to shape out, they don't know how it's going to shape out. No one understands Mike McDaniel. His mind works a completely different way than most other coaches out there, right?
I'll tell you one way it's going to shake out. Sony Michel, he's going to get the pass blocking snaps.
Oh, absolutely. He has one where he annihilated that guy.
Yeah.
You're known as that dude.
Running backs in the NFL.
So right now, I'm sitting here. I got 1 pick before me, and I got one of my favorite players. Did he just seriously go off the board? He did too. I was targeting Devin Duvernay. We just talked about 146 targets of Marquis Brown going away. There's no way Rashad Bateman absorbs all of those. Devin Duvernay is one of those sneaky plays, especially in a setup like this. So now I'm sitting here. Do I want to go Sony Michel here? Do I want to go Brian Edwards? Because we know it's Kyle Pitts, and who knows how Drake London might factor into it. But you know what? I'm going to go with Sony Michel here because why not? I'm throwing a bunch of stuff at a wall here, throwing some crap off a wall, seeing what sticks, and hopefully that's Sony Michel.
Yeah, I like Sony Michel. I think that we're gonna see a hot hand approach there in San Francisco, something similar to the Kyle Shanahan. His repertoire of before he brought on Elijah Mitchell and really found a stud. So I think that's a good pick.
Now it gets interesting because I'm up again and I don't know where to go. I honestly don't. We're at the back end. I'm targeting 3 guys right now: Brian Edwards, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and AJ Green. Who's playing quarterback? Baker Mayfield, he's excused. He's not coming back. Those bridges, that's been burnt a long time ago. No matter what happens with Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield's not coming back. So that probably means Jacoby Brissett is going to see a significant amount of snaps under center this year. We don't know if it's going to be 2 weeks. We don't know if it's going to be 6 weeks. We don't even know. He could be the quarterback all season long. We don't know. And when we don't know something, that really devalues Donovan Peoples-Jones, in my opinion. That devalues Amari Cooper as far as production. That's scary. For me, that's real. I may just go with a good old classic here because I also know that DeAndre Hopkins is going to be suspended for the first 6 games of the season. That I know, which means we're going to get 6 weeks of AJ Green with Marquise Hollywood Brown. And I like that here in the 18th round. Find me a better selection in the 18th round.
I don't know, man. We'll see. So I think that AJ Green he's old. He is long in his youth.
Hey, I don't discriminate against old age.
But he's going to play. He had over 100 targets last year. Oh, yeah, I'm 43. I was like the other day, I was asking my wife, am I 43 or am I 42? Yeah, she was like, yeah, you're 43. So, Yeah, it gets out of control quickly. So I feel you, man. I feel you.
So I'm looking here. I feel pretty good about my team right now. It's not the greatest. We've got Mahomes, we've got Davis Mills there. I like Joe Mixon. I like DeAndre Swift, AJ Dillon, Rashawn Penny. Those guys give me some pretty good value there. Ronald Jones, Sony Michel, a couple flyers I feel comfortable with. And then at the wide receiver, it's not quite as stacked as what you got going on there, but I feel it's a very underappreciated group as far as fantasy is concerned. Marquis Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, Kadarius Toney, Jacoby Myers, McCole Hardman, Corey Davis, Sammy Watkins, AJ Green. It's not super appealing, but I think you can get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's going to come down to differentiating your lineup from the field because if you want to take this down, you're not going to do it with all the chalk. You're gonna need it's a lot like DFS trying to differentiate your lineups in these big GPPs basically. And the only way to do it, you've got to think outside the box. You got to do things a little bit different. You can't do it, straight up the way the ADP tells you. So we'll see. And I like my lineup. I like your lineup. I think this has been a nice little run through the underdog. And like I mentioned earlier, make sure you use Fantasy PTS to get that $100 bonus on your first deposit. Make sure you take advantage. And this has been a lot of fun. So I might not be around. I might not be on this next week, but I know you're going to be in good hands, whoever's on there. So, but I'll definitely try to get on at least the following week. So everyone have a good night. It's been a lot of fun.
Take off, eh? Have a good one.